Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Welcome to the James Skrmetta Show podcast here on a Monday, April Fool's Day. I hope everyone had a fantastic weekend. Let's get into the show. A lot of stuff to talk about tonight. April Fool's, the worst prank ever played on me. We'll talk about some March Madness, Duke losing, what's it mean for the tournament. Talk about the craziest commercial, maybe not the craziest, but a crazy commercial that claims to cure or prevent AIDS. A nasty chicken recipe video that went viral over Twitter, and rule changes to the NFL. We'll be talking about all that stuff on this show today. Let me read chat real quick. You still keep up to date with FIFA? Yes, I do. I don't play it, but I do keep up to date with it. A lot of my content creator people that I follow, or a lot of stuff I ingest just from Twitter and all that stuff, are FIFA related. So yeah, I do keep up with what's going on. So yes, to answer your question, but I have not played in months. I haven't played in months, and I probably will not play again this game. It is a total embarrassment, and the game should be illegal, to be honest. So today is April Fool's, worst day of the year. I hate April Fool's. I'm not a prank guy, never have been, never will be. I don't like it. And April Fool's somehow turned into, instead of just like, oh man, this would be really, this would make someone maybe a little gag, a little goof. April Fool's somehow turned into being, how could I ruin this person's life for 20 minutes and then prank him, have his whole day ruined, his fight or flight response is going off like crazy. Like now, every time I see I didn't even get on the internet today because every single thing was just the worst possible case scenario. It was just people retiring from sports teams, people getting traded, people dying, people being pregnant. It was just the worst. I just ignored all phone calls, ignored all text messages today. Yeah, I mean, that's how April Fool's is now. If you answer text messages, if you answer phone calls, in one day, your girlfriend will get pregnant, or not even a girlfriend, just some random girl will get pregnant. One of your family members will die. A player from your favorite sports team will get traded. The first thing I saw this morning was Michael Thomas from the Saints got traded. I just passed it on. Forgot about it. Never happened. So not an April Fool's guy. I don't do pranks. But I will tell you the worst prank ever played on me, and it wasn't even on April Fool's Day. It was from my own flesh and blood. My own co-creator, my father, my own dad did it. So let's go back. And let's explore this memory. So I was at work. I was coming home from lunch, or I was coming home to lunch. And sometimes my dad is we meet up for lunch. Me and my mom and my dad. So my dad also buys Powerball lottery tickets every single day. Every day. And, can't blame him. Once you start, can't stop, because then, So every Thursday and Sunday, I'm always like Googling the Powerball lottery winning numbers with his tickets to see if I'm a millionaire, And at this given time, the Powerball had reached like, I don't know, $800 million. It was something insane. It was like $800 million, $900 million. So I'm coming home from work. I get to lunch. I'm just enjoying my lunch. Not a big deal. And my dad popped in for lunch. And he just, we're just talking, nothing crazy. We're just talking, normal conversation. And he throws down a stack of like 20 tickets, lottery tickets. And he's like, "Hey man, check these real quick. I gotta go back to work. Just check them and let me know if we got anything." I'm like, all right, nothing out of the ordinary for me. I do it all the time. So I get his tickets. Got my phone. I almost just swallowed my tongue. Got my phone. Got the numbers pulled up. Go through the first ticket, nothing. Second ticket, nothing. Third ticket, got like 2 numbers. Next ticket, got like the Powerball. That's $2. Cool. Next ticket, nothing. Next ticket, 2 numbers. Next ticket, 3 numbers. So I get about 15 tickets in. Is a ton of tickets. I get about 15 tickets in, and I'm checking. And I see the first number, and we got it. I'm like, oh, cool. It's always cool to have the first number. Second number, we got it. I'm like, whoa. Back-to-back numbers. Are you kidding me? Cool. I'm just sitting there eating. No big deal. My mom and my dad are talking to each other. I'm eating. No thing. I'm just about to go back to work. No big deal. Third number. Wow, it's a match. So now I'm thinking, hold up. 3 numbers in a row. Now it's getting a little real, right? Now it's getting a little crazy. And I want to say, I think it's 5 numbers in a Powerball. And if you get 5 numbers, I think you get $1 million. And then if you get all of them, of course, you win the whole thing. So when I get 3 in a row, I'm thinking, this is a lot. To get 3 numbers at all is crazy. Then have 3 in a row, it's even crazier. So then the 4th number comes. We got it. It's a match. So now there are butterflies in my tummy. So now I'm starting to sweat. So now I'm starting to think like, what the hell? And this is all inside of myself because they're talking. I'm the only one that sees these numbers. 5th number, it's a match. So now I'm thinking, oh my God. At the minimum, we just won $1 million. And if we have the Powerball, which if you got 5 in a row, you got to think it's a pretty good chance. I'm about to get $800 million coming to my family. So at this point, I'm like shaking, right? At this point, I'm freaking out. So I look at the last number, the Powerball number. It's a match. I'm holding these tickets in my parents' kitchen, and the only person in the universe at this point who believes that they've won the Powerball is me. Not just any Powerball, almost $1 billion. So I'm sitting there, and I'm not even breathing. I remember it being thousands of degrees inside of my body. And I'm just reading it over and over and over and over and over again. I'm just looking at the numbers, looking at the ticket, looking at the numbers, looking at the ticket. And after I did that about 20 times, I realized like, oh my God, we did it. We just did it. We won. We're billionaires. So now I'm thinking, okay, hold on. Control yourself. Calm down. So I went outside. I took the tickets and my phone outside. I walked outside. And I'm thinking, all right, do I just go? Because the place you have to go to turn in your winning thing is like 3 hours away. So I'm thinking, do I just drive? Do I not tell anybody? Do I just go get the money and then I'll tell everybody instead of like telling my parents, them freaking out? I didn't know what to do. So then I'm thinking, oh my God, wait a minute. I don't have to go back to work. I don't ever have to work again. So then every dream you've ever had in your entire life, every goal, everything that you ever wanted to do to be happy, all of a sudden now is a possibility. All of a sudden now possibilities are endless. I'm thinking, I'm about to buy this house. I'm about to buy this car. I'm about to build a studio. I'm about to go on this trip. I'm about to call into work and quit. I'm about to do it all. Best day of my life. So now I'm on cloud 9. Now I'm on absolute cloud 9. I'm couldn't be happier. So then I decide, okay, I have to tell my parents. But then I thought, well, if I tell my mom, she may like have a heart attack or something. So now I'm thinking like, man, damn, how do I break this to her that we just won $850 million? So I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna tell her we won like $5 million. I'm gonna tell her I'm gonna bring her in easily. So I go back into the kitchen, and guys, at this point, I'm not even a human being. I think about being Think about being the happiest you can possibly be. Times that by 800 million. That's how I was in that moment. All your stress, all your worry, everything that's stressing you out, school, money, work, whatever it is, it's gone. It's all gone. No such thing as stress. Only happiness. So I go back in the house and I'm like, Mom, you need to sit down. And my dad at this point is like in the bathroom or something. I was like, you need to sit down. And she was like, what's up? What's wrong? And I said, I'm pretty sure that we just won the Powerball. And I'm about to go get the money. And call work, quit. We just won $800 million. And of course, she's freaking out. Of course, my mom is freaking out. She's like, doing the same thing I'm doing. All her hopes and dreams and goals are all a reality. Her stresses, worry are gone forever. So we're freaking out. We're the happiest two people in the world. We're like freaking the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory boy. We're like him and the grandpa who was sleeping the whole movie. We're dancing around with the golden ticket. So we're reading over it. My dad finally walks back in the kitchen. We tell him. He's like, and he's kind of like laughing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm laughing too, bro. Okay, let's get in the car. I got $800 million to get. Let's go. And he's like, check the ticket or something like that. He's like, make sure you check the ticket. So I read it like 20 more times. And I'm like, these are the numbers. Look at these numbers. That's when he tells me to look at the date of the ticket. And they do two drawings. They do it, unbelievable. They do two drawings. They do a drawing on Wednesday night and a drawing on Saturday night. This is like Thursday morning. The ticket was for Saturday's drawing. So what had happened was, my dad went to the gas station Thursday morning, saw that no one won the Powerball the night before, and requested all of the same numbers so that he could have a ticket with the winning numbers on it, even though he knew it was a loser because it was the drawing after. So the tickets he bought were for Saturday, not for Wednesday night. So this cat took $2, because that's how much a ticket is, ripped it up basically, just to ruin my whole life. And to top everything off, when it broke, when it completely broke, my spirits, my hopes and dreams were all gone. My stresses and worry all came back. Then I had to go back to work. No $800 million, no Powerball, no yacht, no mansion, no vacations. Lunch was over, and I just had to go back to work. And that is the worst prank that's ever been played on me. It makes me sick. Honestly, it makes me sick even telling the story. It makes me sick telling the story. That is actually savage AF. Yeah, it is absolutely awful. Dude, $800 million is no joke. Yeah, $800 million. I thought for like 10 minutes. This wasn't like a 30-second thing. This wasn't like, hey man, we just won. Nah, I pranked you. It wasn't like that. It was like 20 minutes. I had told my mom. She also got pranked. I was leaving. I was walking to the car to drive 3 hours to go get my $800 million. Mans is already thinking about Mega Yacht with Naomi Kyle. Dude, I was thinking, okay, whatever I want to do, I could buy a sports team. I could do whatever I want. Whatever I want. Never have to wake up early again. Never have to set an alarm. Never have to do something I don't want to do. All taken away. What's up, Steve? What's going on, man? How's it going? Let me catch up in chat. Errol the Egg. How are you doing? I see some controversy happened up in here. I'll have to check out, see what was going on. Seems like some crazy stuff happened up in there. But how's it going, man? Absolutely brutal. But think about it. If you actually won, we wouldn't be here now. We would, though. That's the worst part. It would just be full time all the time. It would just be, I'd have a giant warehouse. A giant studio warehouse with podcast studios, video studios. I'd have all kind of stuff going on in there. It would be like the Fantasy Factory mixed with Joe Rogan's podcast, mixed with Barstool. Man. Yeah, exactly. Imagine how lit Team of the Year pack openings would be with $800 million. Brutal, man. Absolutely brutal. Makes me sick. All right. Let's go now to a video I saw on Twitter. Y'all might have saw the same video. So we're going to go here. Yeah. All right. We're going to watch this video. So I saw this video on Twitter. It's a recipe. Y'all may have seen this. And it's absolutely shocking. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but we're going to watch some of it. So I saw this on Twitter and blew my mind. So you know those like tasty, if you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening, I'll try and explain what's going on here. It's like one of those tasty videos, right? Where all you see is like the food, you see some hands, and then it comes out to a dish, okay? So this is a chicken recipe, a little stuffed chicken recipe. I do this all the time. And they do it a little strange. So let's go ahead and watch. And if it's your first time watching this, let me warn you, it is a bit graphic. So if you are pure and innocent, please minimize the screen. Here we go. Hold up, let me get y'all some audio here. What? What the hell? You're talking about 7 seconds in, and this fella or woman, whatever, has taken these chicken cutlets, these damn slabs of pheasant, and just went to third base with them. This is less of a recipe and more of a pap smear. I've never seen something like this in my life. And then they just keep going. They just keep on rolling. Cookbook available at www.chefclub.tv or the 5th page of RedTube. Yeah, for more information, go to the 19th page on YouPorn. So now we're getting into why the slit was there, because he's gonna stuff it with ham and cheese. Like, I only saw this. I haven't done any research into like what this website actually does or what this website is like. But it's almost like they're just doing a normal recipe. So I feel like they may have just made a mistake. I feel like they may have just made a whoopsie poopsie, and they just got a little too handsy at the beginning of the episode because the rest of this is just a regular ass recipe. Grosser with the white sauce. This chicken cutlet is getting straight Riley Reeded by this dude. This chicken cutlet right here could be on the thumbnail for a Blacked episode. What the hell is this? What the hell is this? Is this the internet? Is this where I'm at now? I take a few days off the internet. I come around and chicken cutlets are getting I'm thinking it's got to be a joke. Because the chicken isn't seasoned. It's just covered in breadcrumbs. It's put on top of some potatoes. And then it's baked for like 20 minutes. Like, in the oven for 20 minutes at 340, it's probably not even going to cook the chicken. Like, when I cook chicken, I cook my chicken at like 380 for like closer to 30 minutes. So that's some internet action for you guys. That's some internet action for you. Absolutely filthy, man. Absolutely filthy. Looks nice, to be honest. I agree, it does look banging. Well, I can go ahead and tell you the chicken is not cooked. I can go ahead and tell you that the chicken is not cooked. So that would be, bad, pretty bad for you. That'd be pretty bad for you to eat that chicken. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. That would not be good. That would not be good at all. All right, let's go to this other thing I saw. There's another thing I saw. So I was driving to the gym this morning, actually. I was driving to the gym this morning. Not a big deal. I don't want to talk about nothing. Okay, not a big deal. Just going to go clang and bang. No biggie. No biggie. And I heard a commercial on the radio, a little radio ad. And I haven't been able to find the exact commercial anywhere, so we're just trying to deal with this picture. But it was for this pill. It's for this drug called PrEP. It's called PrEP. And I don't even know what it stands for. Doesn't matter. But the pill, the whole point of the pill was you take it and it just works to prevent HIV. That's it. That's all it does. And the guy in the commercial is like, I love having a good time, so I take PrEP, so I don't have to worry about it the next day. And it was a lot like that. It was like yeah, before I was choked on my tongue again. It was a lot like, yeah, before I go out, I just pop a PrEP. You never know what's going to happen. And I'm thinking, this thing is basically like a you know those like pills you take, the hangover pills before you start drinking? It's basically that, but for HIV. What the hell could this guy possibly be doing every day of his life that he is that worried about contracting HIV? I mean, this guy needs to look himself in the damn mirror. He needs to say, you know what? Maybe instead of taking these pills, maybe I need to reel back my life. I mean, if I took a pill every single day that was like, yeah, I take this pill to try and prevent me being attacked by a king cobra, the question would be, well, how many times a day are you next to a king cobra? If you're taking it every day, if you're taking basically a one a day from Freddie Mercury, then, I mean, that's what it is. It's a multivitamin straight from Freddie Mercury's freaking drug cabinet. If you're taking this thing every day, I mean, your day has to be full of just unspeakable things. You can't just be living a casual life. You can't just be going to work. You can't just be going to the gym. You can't just be going to the bar to have a few drinks. Like, you almost have to be bathing. Like, you have to be just rolling around bathing with people with AIDS in order for you to actually have to take this pill. It's insane. Not to mention that condoms exist. So between this and the chicken commercial, the internet was too much for your boy. So go Google PrEP. We might be able to pull. Let me see if I can pull it up. Let's see if I can pull up a PrEP commercial. I tried earlier. I couldn't find one. Yeah. Nah.
I'm on the pill.
Okay. Maybe this is it. Okay. We in here. I think this is it. Let's check it out. Let's freaking check it out. Just so y'all can see what I'm talking about. This is a different commercial, but same idea. Same idea. Okay.
I'm on the pill.
I'm on the pill.
I'm on the pill.
I'm on the pill too.
But it's not birth control.
No, it's not.
It's Truvada for PrEP, a once daily prescription medicine for adults that when taken every...
Once daily! You have to have a prescription. How can you get a prescription for this? You just go to the doctor and say, hey doc, I'm going to some pretty sketchy places on a pretty consistent basis. You mind hooking me up, brother? One a day. It's like, oops, alarm went off. Let me go and take my AIDS pill. Make sure I don't bump into some AIDS.
Every day, along with using safer sex practices, can help lower my chances of getting HIV through sex.
And use condoms.
What are you doing every day, Scott? What are you doing, Scott? You aren't hanging out at that theater. I'll tell you that much. You ain't hanging out at that theater, Scott. You wouldn't need PrEP if you were just watching plays.
But I talked to my doctor about doing more. He said that because I had a higher chance of getting HIV through sex.
What the hell are you doing, Scott? How are you walking into a movie theater, son? My guy's walking into a movie theater. You know what he's doing when he's walking in there? He's walking in that movie theater looking for some AIDS. He's just begging to bump into some AIDS. He's just praying to walk shoulder to shoulder, bump right into some AIDS. Because he's got the pill. Because he's got the freaking pill.
Truvada for PrEP could be an option for me.
She also told me that Truvada alone may not keep me from getting HIV, and it does not prevent other STIs or pregnancy.
You must be HIV negative to take Truvada for PrEP. So you need to get tested for HIV immediately before and at least every 3 months while taking Truvada.
How much HIV is there? Are these guys getting into a teleporter and being time traveled back into the 1970s?
I wanted to know about all of my prevention options, so I asked my doctor about Truvada for PrEP.
If you think you were exposed to HIV or have flu-like symptoms, tell your doctor right away. They may do more tests to confirm you are still HIV negative. Serious side effects can occur, including kidney.
These guys are playing nighttime soccer. Where are the AIDS? Do y'all see any HIV anywhere on the soccer field? What the hell is about to happen on this soccer field that freaking Kevin has to take a pill, a once-a-day pill? Is my man Liberace the referee of this soccer game? Is that what's happening? Is Charlie Sheen the goalie? Is Charlie Sheen the freaking goalie of this nighttime soccer game? If not, then you don't need an AIDS pill.
Problems, kidney failure, and bone problems.
Unless Charlie Sheen is going spikes up into tackles, you don't need the AIDS pill.
Which may lead to fractures. Rare life-threatening side effects include a buildup of lactic acid and liver problems. Tell your doctor about all the medicines you take. If you are pregnant or breastfeeding, or if you have kidney, bone, or liver problems, including hepatitis. If you have hepatitis B, do not stop taking Truvada without talking to your doctor. Common side effects include stomach pain, headache, and weight.
I mean, what is this world? What is this world, man? Crazy, dude. Absolutely insane, man. That's some crazy white people shit. These are the same dudes that try to bang and check with AIDS just to test it? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. They just walking around. They just bumping into AIDS, boy. This girl was weird. I was thinking the same thing, Steve. I was thinking the same thing, Steve. Didn't want to do any assumptions, but I had the same little suspicious look, like one of these, a little. That pill may be the only preventative pill that's worse than just getting the disease. Like imagine if you just you pop the pill and your friends are like, hey dude, what is that? And it's like, oh man, dude, this is my this is the pill. This is the pill that I take. This is the pill I take so I don't get AIDS. Y'all don't take the AIDS pill? That's almost worse than just having it. Sad. All right, let's move on. So here in the United States of Nova, college basketball is alive and well with the NCAA tournament, March Madness. We are into the Final Four: Texas Tech, Michigan State, Virginia, and Auburn. Duke was knocked out by Michigan State in a very tightly contested game. And man, I'll tell you this. The games that we've had in the Sweet 16 are probably the best Sweet 16 games I've ever seen. From the Sweet 16 to now, we have had non-stop one-possession game, overtime games, just incredible games. The only games that really haven't been good are Texas Tech's games because Texas Tech just blows everybody out. But I mean, Duke's been 3 games decided by less than 3 points. Virginia barely escaped last in the Sweet 16. No, in the Elite 8. They barely won. They had to force overtime with a last-second shot. But they've been fantastic. They've been absolutely incredible. I've really enjoyed it. I didn't watch a lot of college basketball this year, but the tournament has been the perfect representation of college basketball. With that said, the 4 teams we're left with, besides Texas Tech, the other 3 teams may be the most boring teams possible. Michigan State, Virginia, Auburn's a cool underdog story, but and then Texas Tech. So it's like we went through all that awesome stuff to get to this kind of not awesome stuff. And hopefully these games can match what we've already seen. Duke being eliminated is a big talking point or a big surprise, I guess, because everyone expected Duke to be there. Everyone expected Zion Williamson to be there, and Duke, with all these incredible freshmen, R.J. Barrett, Cam Reddish, to be there at the end. And I think as the tournament progressed, I think it was pretty obvious that Duke just wasn't the best team. Zion willed that team to winning against UCF, willed that team to win these games. And, I just don't think Duke, I think they may have hit a lull. Sometimes teams peak, they have valleys and peaks. I think Duke just hit a valley. And I think they just hit a valley in the tournament. They just couldn't get out of it. They couldn't get out of that valley. And it's tough to see them out because Zion is such an electric player. And now he's going to move on to the NBA, and we're going to see just how good he really is. And it is going to be tough, because his game is so unique. I'm not sure how it will translate. I think he'll be a lot like Blake Griffin was, where Blake got in the league and just dominated or did really well off of just pure athleticism, and then kind of developed into something else. I think Zion's a little better than Blake was. It's close. They're very similar players in college. So I can see Zion's more of like a Shaquille O'Neal, Draymond Green kind of hybrid, where he's a little more finesse than Shaq was. He's already hitting threes. And he's super athletic, but he's undersized. But at the same time, he's like huge. He's undersized while being heavier than everybody in the league. So it's a weird combination, really weird combination. I think for Duke as a whole, though, I think this is a huge disappointment. I think anybody who says, well, they did good, they accomplished a lot of great things, they were fun. I mean, for Duke to not even get to the Final Four with this team, if they lose in the national championship game, then so be it. If they lose in the Final Four, at least they got to the Final Four. But to not even make the Final Four with this team, I mean, R.J. Barrett, Zion, Cam Reddish come back off injury, just the rest of Duke, and arguably the best coach, for them to struggle mightily in the tournament. I mean, they struggled from the first second. They were getting beat by the 16 seed for a while. They should have lost to UCF. Virginia Tech gave them hell. They did lose to Michigan State. They had no covers. They had no convincing wins. I think Duke just kind of, I don't want to say they fizzled out, but they just kind of got outmatched. They ran into a bunch of these teams that were just going to shoot. And Duke just can't do that. Duke's not a shooting team. So it turned into, okay, y'all are shooting. All we can do is hope Zion can absolutely carry this team. That's pretty much what he did. R.J. Barrett had a really good game against Virginia Tech. It was either Virginia Tech or UCF. So whatever game he had, like 12 assists. But R.J. Barrett had some good games. But even when he had good games, he was just driving to the lane. And he was just driving and driving and driving and driving and driving. And I think Duke missed that shooting element that everyone else seemed to have. Everyone seemed to have this ability to just shoot the lights out. And Duke never had that. So I'm a little upset, man. I mean, the tournament's been fun, but it seemed to have had the wind just like totally sucked out of it with Duke coming out. Having Duke in there was just always exciting. Even people I knew that didn't watch college basketball watched because of Duke. So it seems like the tournament lost a little bit of luster. I'm interested to see the ratings. I'm interested to see what the ratings are going to be after this. All right, let's go to the final story. So the NFL passed a rule to make pass interference calls now reviewable at the end of the games. And somebody asked me this in person over the weekend and asked me what I thought about it. So I figured I'd talk about it on the show and kind of give my take on it. I always, in every sport, and this is a bigger conversation because the Premier League and soccer, global soccer is just they're kind of going through this as well with VAR and video replay. Basketball is going through this with review, and the NFL is going through this with review. Baseball went through challenges in their review system, and it's all really the same. Like my thinking on it is all the same. I think without a doubt, unequivocally, the number one thing we should be doing is getting the calls right. So if that adds 10 minutes to the game, if that adds a few more reviews, whatever, do whatever you got to do to get the calls right. There's no one on the planet that should be in favor of shorter games or in favor of getting calls wrong in order to keep the games the same time. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. No one should think that. It should all be, we want the most consistent calls in the games, every game, right? So I think people are missing the real conversation here, because it shouldn't be about the reviews. It should be about the calls. It should be about these referees. It should be about the people on the field. And it really made me think about this when I was watching Duke Michigan State. There was a play in the Duke Michigan State game where it was probably like, I don't know, less than a minute in the game. And there was a scramble at the corner of the court. And the ball obviously bounced off of the Michigan State guy's arm. Obviously. And the referee in the perfect position, blew it Michigan State's way. Then they reviewed it, and they switched it, and it was going to Duke. But that guy had the perfect look at it. He had the best look on the court. And he had the most important call to make in that game. And he absolutely blew it. And yes, you can be like, well, that's why we have review. And it is. And then you can say, well, you know, we need more review. And okay. But maybe if we had a better process to make these calls, we wouldn't need to have such extensive reviews. Just like the Saints game and the NFC Championship game. That's the whole reason this rule is even existing, is because of what happened in the NFC Championship game. But the referee was in the perfect position and absolutely blew a crucial call. How can we fix that? In the NFL, I think we have to get better referees. We have to get better trained referees. We have to get full-time referees. Do whatever you got to do. I think the referees should be fired or promoted or whatever. I think that they should be known. You know, if a referee makes a terrible call in a terrible spot, he should be fired or suspended or something. If a referee blows a pass interference call, he should be suspended. He should be fined. These referees just kind of make these decisions, and then they go off into the darkness and the shadows. No one even knows who the hell it is. And then by the time they do know who it is, it doesn't even matter. So that's the first thing. Is like, how can we make the referees better? Train them, whatever. Make them accountable for what they're doing. But then the second thing is, you know, maybe we don't even need referees. Maybe it's just time to go straight to a system which is pure technology, whether it's robots or people in booths or whatever. I mean, this is the NFL. This is the Premier League. This is like huge global leagues with tons of money. Why do we not have a system in the NFL where we have a camera on every single edge of the pylon? How do we not have a camera for every angle? How do we not have like microchips in the balls to show when they go out of bounds or when they go over the end zone? We have to have some kind of system that betters that. You know, that betters what these referees are doing, or what they can't do, I guess, because it's such an old idea of, okay, we'll just put people on the field, they'll watch the game, and then they'll make calls on what they're seeing. When we have so many cameras and there's so much new technology that the people in the booth are getting way better looks at everything. And if you got people in the booth and you have a huge call, then those people in the booth, let's say you have 5 of them. You should have 5 experts in the booth who can watch all these angles. I think the craziest thing is when the referees go to see the replay, and it used to be on this little bitty screen. I remember when they first started doing video replay, and the referee would go to the sidelines, and he'd be watching a screen that couldn't have been 10 inches. It had to be like an 8-inch TV. And he's trying to watch this thing, while we're sitting at home watching on 60-inch projector screens. So this is one of those weird things where how the NFL and the Premier League and all these other leagues can make so much money. Can make so much money, but they don't invest in the most important part, which is getting the calls right, the referees being adequately trained, the referees being top level. And I think that it might be time to get away from referees and look at a system to where if it adds 15 minutes to a game, whatever. If you told me that every single game would be extended by 15 minutes, but every single call would be correct, I'd say, sounds good to me. All good. You don't want a whole season. You don't want hundreds of millions of dollars. You don't want a career to be changed and altered because of some guy, because of a terrible call. Let's go to chat. Let's go to chat and catch up in chat and see what everyone's going to say about this situation. Video review is a mixed one for me. I'm all in for making everything fair. I think refs are becoming outdated, but no matter the sport, it just takes hours to make decisions. I don't agree with suspending and fining a referee. Think about it. They have a second to make a decision. The whole game is in their hands, and they've got to make a crucial decision. Yeah, but that's their job. Other people get suspended. Other people, even athletes. If an athlete makes a mistake and loses his head or loses his cool or gets a foul, you talk about crucial decisions. Is a defender or a player getting a yellow card, a hard tackle or something, and getting suspended for a game? Or in the NFL. In the NFL, a player can make a hit, a split second. He can come in for a hit. The referees can deem that hit reckless, and then that player get fined and suspended for the hit. So it seems like everyone is held accountable for what they're doing at all times, except these damn referees. If a cornerback in the NFL has to drop back, think about this. He's got to drop back. He's covering the wide receiver, who's bigger, stronger, faster, He's trying to cover this wide receiver while simultaneously watching the quarterback, while simultaneously knowing what he has to do, his own, responsibilities. Then, within a split second, he has to try and tackle a receiver or a running back or whoever. And he goes to tackle him, and in a split second, he may go too high. Who knows what happens? And they hit helmet to helmet. All of a sudden, he's suspended, he's fined, he's thrown out of the game, and there's a penalty. That's a lot. And you know why they did that? I'll tell you why they did that. They did that to hold these players responsible. They started fining players. They started suspending players because they knew if they started doing that, these players would take it seriously and they'd be held accountable for their mistakes. Even if it is a game, a crucial decision, even if it is a split second, even if it's an accident, they still have to be held accountable. And these referees have to be held accountable in these games. Let's continue with chat. Let's get some more feedback. But technology can be so much better for sports in general. Like you said, the microchips, it's clear a ball can be detected by crossing a line with goal line technology in football, make it for all areas of the pitch. At the end of the day, sports is treated like a business now. I disagree with it massively, but that's the way it is now, and it's shite. The roughing the passer calls were a tipping point for me. It's such a judgmental call, and judgment is something that shouldn't be part of the league. Correct. 100%. 100%. All those things that the referees, as just human beings, naturally do, can be removed. Give me 5 people in a box. Give me 10 people in a box. I don't care how many people is in a booth. Have them watch the game from a million different angles, and if there's a call, if there's something where it's like, hey, I'm seeing something here, they can either buzz someone down on the field, or there's a million different systems that could be. But something has to happen because the way it is right now is not working. It's just not working for all these sports. Every time you turn on a game, it's decided by a referee, whether it's a foul call or whether it's a no foul call or whatever it is. It's happening too much. Sports are too big now for it to fall back on these super outdated reasons, i.e. a referee. So I say get rid of them. I say it's time to bring in the robots. Bring in the freaking robot overlords. And let's get this stuff right, man. Let's get this stuff right. That's what I say. Thank you guys for listening. That is the show. Solid show. We went pretty long. That might be one of the longest ones we've done. I thought it was going to be a short show. That was actually probably closer to an hour. It's pretty surprising. Thank you all for listening. This has been another episode. Guys, you know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. The best content on the internet, to be honest. No one can do what we do here, and we do it every single day. Tell your friends. Share. Tell everybody. If they listen to podcasts, if they watch videos, if they enjoy news, we are the place to be. This has been the James Skrmetta Show.